At some point in the last year, your cat stopped telling you things. Not because nothing is wrong, because they decided, the way cats always decide, that you didn't need to know. If your cat is 8, 10, 12 years old, there are things happening inside their body right now that they are actively hiding from you. Not out of stubbornness, not out of independence, out of an instinct so ancient and so deep that even the most loved, most pampered cat on earth cannot override it. Today, we are going to learn to hear what they stopped saying. There are 5 things your senior cat is silently communicating to you every single day, through behaviors so subtle that most owners spend years misreading them. By the time we reach the last one, I need you to promise yourself you will act on it, because that one, more than anything else in this video, could be the difference between catching something in time and losing them before you are ready. Let's begin. Point 1. The reason they go silent. Before we get to the signs, you need to understand why your senior cat says nothing at all. Cats are predators. We know this. We love this about them. But what most people never think about is that in nature, cats are also prey. A cat that is sick, injured, or struggling becomes a target the moment anything detects the weakness. So evolution built into every cat, including yours sleeping somewhere in this house right now, an extraordinary ability to mask pain, to perform normal, to continue eating, grooming, and moving through the house with a discipline that should honestly astonish us long past the point where the suffering has become serious. This is not a choice they make. It is biology running so deep that they cannot turn it off even when they are safe, even when you are right there, even when you would give anything to help them if only you knew. Here is what this means in practice. A cat that is hiding more is not a cat that has found a new favorite spot. A cat that has moved from the sofa to under the bed is not being antisocial or quirky. In feline medicine, withdrawal and hiding are clinical symptoms. They are the body following a script that says, "I feel vulnerable. I must disappear." By the time a cat stops masking entirely, by the time the hiding becomes impossible to explain away, the illness is often already advanced. So everything in this video is about learning to read the language underneath the performance. The signals they cannot help but leave behind, even when every instinct tells them to hide. Pay close attention, because once you understand this, you will never look at your senior cat the same way again. Point 2. The invisible hurdle. Here is something that will permanently change the way you look at your home. Arthritis is the single most underdiagnosed condition in older cats. Research suggests that over 90% of cats above the age of 12 have measurable joint degeneration. And the reason it goes undetected in almost every household is this. Cats with arthritis do not limp. Dogs limp. Cats avoid. They do not show you the pain. They show you a behavior change so subtle that most owners quietly file it under getting older and move on, leaving a cat in daily, manageable pain that no one ever addresses. Here is exactly what you are looking for. Watch whether your cat still uses their high spots. The cat tree, the window ledge, the top of the bookshelf they used to fly up to without a second thought. A cat that has stopped going high has not lost interest. They have made a silent calculation. The landing cost too much, and adjusted their world accordingly without telling you why. Watch the litter box. One of the most heartbreaking and least recognized causes of a senior cat eliminating outside the box is simply that the walls are too high. They are not being defiant. They are standing at the edge every single day, feeling what it costs them to climb over, and eventually choosing the floor instead. The fix is almost insultingly simple. A low-sided tray. A storage container with one end cut down to ground level. That single change has resolved inappropriate elimination in senior cats overnight, in homes where the owner spent months convinced it was a behavioral problem. Watch their grooming. A cat developing mats near the base of their tail, in the lower back area they used to reach without effort, is a cat telling you something hurts back there. they are not being lazy. The flexibility is gone, and they cannot bridge the distance anymore. And if you want to give your senior cat something that makes a real difference right now, warmth. A self-heating pad, a fleece blanket in their favorite spot, a sunny window perch. Heat is one of the most immediate and effective relievers of joint pain in cats. Watch a stiff, older cat lower themselves onto a warm surface and exhale, really exhale, and you will understand what it means to them. If anything in this section sounds like your cat, bring it to your vet. The treatment options for feline joint pain have improved significantly in recent years. There is no good reason for your cat to be quietly living with something that is treatable. Point 3. When their world starts to dim. Your senior cat is navigating your home on a map. Not just a visual map, a full sensory map built over years, made of scent trails, memorized distances, familiar textures, and the exact location of every piece of furniture they pass 100 times a day. This map is so precise and so trusted that a cat with softening vision can move through a home they know with remarkable confidence. Which is exactly why you need to stop rearranging things. A coffee table shifted 6 inches, a rug removed, a chair pulled into a new position. To you, this is redecorating. To your senior cat, this is a trusted landmark that is suddenly wrong. A map error in the middle of a space that should be completely known. In a cat whose vision is already changing, that single error can cause real hesitation, real distress, and a quiet erosion of their confidence in their own home. Keep things where they are as much as possible. When changes must happen, make them slowly, one at a time, and give your cat time to remap before the next shift. Now, the eyes themselves. If you look at your senior cat in good light and notice a soft bluish haze in the lens, understand this is common and does not automatically mean blindness. But it is a signal that their visual world is changing, and your home should start changing with it. Keep nightlights in the hallways. Keep their food, water, and litter in consistent locations. Do not expect them to adapt quickly to things being somewhere new. Watch for the third eyelid, the pale membrane that lives in the inner corner of the eye. Normally, you never see it when your cat is awake and well. If it becomes visible while they are alert, that is your cat's body signaling that something is wrong. Not necessarily with the eye specifically, but with them overall. It warrants a call to your vet, not a wait and see. And this one catches people off guard. Hearing loss in older cats is far more common than most owners realize. The first sign is usually this. Your cat stops responding to sounds that used to reliably get their attention. The treat bag, their name, your voice from another room. Before you decide they are ignoring you, consider that they may simply not hear you anymore. If this is happening, start speaking with your feet. A gentle stamp on the floor as you enter a room sends a vibration your cat feels before they hear or see you. It prevents the sudden, disorienting shock of not knowing you are there, which, in a senior cat, is genuinely stressful and, if they move in a startled panic, can be physically dangerous. Give them time to find you before you are already upon them. Make your presence something that arrives gently, the way it always should have. Point 4. The 2 places pain hides. There are 2 places in your senior cat's daily life where silent pain concentrates and where almost no one thinks to look. The first is the mouth. If your senior cat has started leaving dry food untouched, or circling the bowl and walking away, or eating only the liquid from wet food and ignoring the chunks, do not spend months rotating through different brands trying to find something they'll accept. Look at their mouth first. Dental disease in older cats is epidemic, and one of its most devastating forms leaves almost no visible signs from the outside. Resorptive lesions are essentially cavities that erode the tooth from within, exposing the nerve. Your cat feels this with every single bite of every single meal. And because they cannot tell you, they simply start eating differently, less, or more slowly, or not at all. There is a simple test you can do at home. Take a cotton swab and gently touch it to your cat's back teeth, one at a time. If their jaw quivers or tightens suddenly at a specific spot, that tooth is causing them pain. Not sensitivity, pain. The kind that a dental procedure could resolve in a single afternoon and give them back the pleasure of eating without dread. A cat in mouth pain is a cat quietly suffering through the moment of their day that should bring them the most comfort. Please do not let that go on. The second place is the litter box, and there is more here than just the wall height we talked about earlier. Changes in litter box behavior in a senior cat are a medical signal until proven otherwise. Going more frequently, producing very little when they strain, crying in the box, eliminating just outside the edge. These are not attitudes. These are not a cat being difficult after years of being fine. These are symptoms. Kidney disease is the leading cause of death in senior cats, and increased or changed litter box behavior is often the first observable sign at home. Urinary blockages, which are fatal without fast intervention, look exactly like a cat attempting to use the box with nothing coming out. If your senior cat's litter box behavior changes in any direction, call your vet that day. Not at the end of the week, that day. Because this is one of those places where waiting costs everything. Point 5. What love looks like now. You have spent years learning how to love this cat. Now the love has to change shape. This is the part of sharing your life with a senior cat that nobody prepares you for. The things that worked, the play style, the feeding routine, the way you picked them up, may no longer be right. And your cat is too loyal and too disciplined in their masking to complain about it. So here is what the love looks like now. Their bed needs to be warmer and softer than it used to be. Joints that are stiffening need real cushioning. Orthopedic foam, a self-heating pad, or even a thick folded fleece in their favorite sleeping spot. Watch them settle in. If they shift repeatedly trying to find a position, the surface is not right yet. Keep adjusting until they lie down and stay. Their food needs to smell like something. As cats age, their sense of smell diminishes, and smell is how a cat decides whether food is worth eating before they ever take a bite. 10 seconds in the microwave changes the entire equation. The warmth releases the aroma. A cat that was turning away from a full bowl will often eat enthusiastically from the same food once it smells warm and alive. Do this at every meal. It costs nothing and it matters enormously. Their water needs to move. Senior kidneys are fragile, and quiet, chronic dehydration is one of the most common and most damaging things happening to older cats in otherwise loving homes. Cats are naturally drawn to moving water in a way they are simply not drawn to a still bowl. It is an evolutionary preference rooted in the fact that still water in the wild is more likely to be contaminated. A water fountain, any fountain, increases intake significantly. This one change alone can meaningfully slow the progression of kidney disease. It is one of the highest return things you can do for a senior cat. And their play must not stop, even if it looks completely different now. Do not look at your senior cat moving slowly across the floor and decide that the predator in them is gone. The body slows, the brain does not. Drag a soft toy at ground level and watch them track it, stalk it, and capture it at their own pace. Trail a long strip of fleece slowly across the carpet and let them belly crawl after it the way they did when they were young. The hunt does not need to be fast or vertical to be real. The full neurological sequence, stalk, chase, capture, kill, is just as complete whether they are flying through the air or moving at half speed with gray around their muzzle. Always let them catch it. Always let them win. Give a small treat immediately after, the way a real meal follows a real hunt. This is not just enrichment. This is dignity. This is you saying, you are still a hunter. You are still whole. You are still you. Even as everything around you is quietly changing. And here we are, the one I told you about at the beginning. Your cat is hiding more than they used to. Maybe it happened so gradually you barely registered when it changed. They used to greet you at the door. Now you come home and have to go looking. They used to sleep on the sofa beside you. Now you find them under the bed, behind the washing machine, in the back corner of a closet where you almost never go. And you have told yourself the story that feels safest. They are just more independent now. They want space. This is simply who they are at this age. I need you to hear this as clearly as I can say it. A cat that withdraws is not a cat that is thriving. Hiding is not a personality. Hiding is a symptom. And in a senior cat, it is a potential emergency until your vet tells you otherwise. Everything we covered today, the joint pain they are performing through, the tooth that makes every meal a small act of endurance, the kidney disease advancing quietly, the hearing and vision slipping away, all of it produces the same response: withdrawal, stillness, going somewhere small and dark and out of the way. Your cat is not asking for space. They are asking you to notice. They are running the only script their biology allows. Never show weakness. Never ask for help. Never let anything see that you are not okay. And underneath that script is the animal who chose you, who has watched over you while you slept, who has slow blinked at your face in the dark in a room you were not even awake to see. That animal is waiting to find out whether you can hear them past the silence. If your cat is 8 years old or older, they need a wellness visit every 6 months. Not once a year, every 6 months. Because 6 months in a senior cat is years. A small and manageable problem in spring can be a crisis by autumn. You cannot afford to wait for them to tell you, because they are not going to. But you know that now. Go find your cat. Not in a minute, now. Wherever they are, on the warm patch of floor, under the bed, tucked into the corner of the sofa, go to them. Really look at them. Watch how they settle. Watch how they move from room to room. Watch where they go when the house gets loud, and where they sleep when everything finally goes quiet. Learn the language they switched to when you were not listening. And if this changed the way you see your cat, share it with someone who has an older cat sitting quietly in their house right now, talking in a language no one has taught them to hear yet.